Hey, ladies and supportive gentlemen. My name is Toby, and I had breast surgery a few months ago, and I really learned a lot about how to be prepared, things I wish I had done, things I did, and I'm glad that I did. So I wanted to share this with you guys. And it doesn't matter what kind of surgery you're going to have or you're thinking about having, whether it's enhancement, reduction, reconstruction after a mastectomy, and you could be any age, and you will absolutely gain some good nuggets from this video. We're going to do one of two videos. This is video one because there's a lot to cover, frankly, in being as prepared as you can. So, my personal story, I had reduction surgery at age 52 after years of discomfort, pain, and bra rage, a term that I coined. Um, and I did a cool thing with a t-shirt that I got the idea for. And here's a picture of me before, and here's me after. And here's them merged on a t-shirt together. Definitely recommend this if you're going to do reduction. It's pretty cool to see where you've been and where you're going. Anyway, so we're going to do a deep dive into all things preparedness. I am not a doctor. I'm also not a preparedness life coach. I'm just going to give you my personal opinion about my experience and how I think this can help you. So here we go. So let's talk about the first area, which is getting your house in order. So, what does this entail? So, the first part has to do with administration, paying your bills early, looking at your calendar and your responsibilities, whether work or home, and finding alternate plans for carpools or other responsibilities, volunteer things, things that you need to do that you will not be able to do for a little while. And even if you can push yourself to do, you don't want to. You want to be able to recover and heal. So, those administrative things, getting them taken care of early is very helpful. The second part of this category has to do with food. So, going to the grocery store early, meal preparedness, if you have kids and family people that you are responsible for their food. And of course, they can just fly on their own, but it's nice to have stuff already in the house that's ready, that brings peace of mind, and also getting food that you like and perhaps meal planning for yourself. Here's what I mean. So I made some like protein muffins and I put them in the refrigerator in a Tupperware, and I made some egg bites and I put them in the Tupperware in the refrigerator. And so when it was breakfast, it was really easy for my husband, who was my buddy, caretaker, to just microwave them or air fry them. And then it was easy, like, yay, that's breakfast. And it didn't take too much thought. So that is a smart thing to do as well. And then the next part of this has to do with car preparedness. So making sure that you have an item like this. It's a seatbelt strap pillow that will be on you for the ride home, because the ride home is a challenging one. And then you'll use it for weeks to come. So having this already in your possession, and I do have a link in the details or comments, description, one of those things. There'll be a link for this handy dandy thing that I got that I still use right now, 2 months post. Um, and also have a full tank of gas in your car. That's all stuff part of having your house in order. Also, you will very much need a buddy slash caretaker. Now, this could be your sister, your husband, your very good friend. It should not be a high schooler. It should be a grown up, um, because you'll obviously need a ride, to and from surgery. And then this is somebody who's going to be with you in the home. And I would say a minimum of 3 days of having someone with you in the home the whole time. You will be on some drugs, you'll be on some medication, and you will be woozy. And I needed help just walking to different places, walking to the restroom. Um, Someone who's bringing you food, checking that you have the medication, writing in a little journal or keeping track on the phone of when you took certain medication. You definitely need to keep track of that. And sometimes you're kind of in la la land and you're not the right person for that. Making sure you have water. So, all of these things are super important. And having, again, at least in my opinion, a 3 day with you caretaker buddy. I would say for me, I needed somebody for the better part of a week, but everybody's a little bit different. Again, minimum of 3 days for that person in your life. This third area has to do with your meds, your medications, your prescriptions. Now, I'm going to say something maybe a little bit crazy, but I want to encourage you to have everything in your possession 1 week in advance. Here's why. Sometimes the pharmacy does not have what you need, and it's going to take them a couple of extra days to order it. So, super, super encourage you to have the goal of everything in your hot little hands by a week in advance. So, this encompasses what? Well, your most important thing, which is your pain medication, whether it be like a Percocet or an Oxy, something like that. Um, totally going to want that completely taken care of. The second thing in this category has to do with an anti nausea. Now, if that hasn't occurred to you, then please ask your doctor about a prescription for anti nausea medication. That helped me tremendously because sometimes the pain meds can make you nauseated. So, totally thumbs up for that. Also, having something, as you know your own body, you know your own self. I knew I was going to have some anxiety on the morning of surgery. So I asked my doctor for something like a Valium, and he graciously let me have it. So I took one with a little bit of water because you're fasting the night before. So I had one that morning. And so I arrived at the surgical center and I wasn't freaking out because I knew I kind of would be. And then I had a few extras that I could use post surgery because I had a few freak out moments after. It's a very emotional thing. So if you think that you might need it, ask your doctor about that. And then the last thing has to do with constipation. Pain medication brings on constipation. And this is not a prescription item. This is an over the counter item. There are many things that help with constipation. You may have them in your home now, but there's three others that I like that are just like home remedy, like natural, that have helped me over the years. The first one is a good old favorite, and that's prunes. Those are great. The second is putting a teaspoon of a high quality olive oil in a little shooter of water and having that first thing in the morning before any food. I do that on a regular basis and it keeps me right as rain. The third thing is kiwi. Now, of course, you can just cut it open and scoop out and eat the fruit, but for this purpose, actually scrub it really well and then cut off the ends and eat the whole thing like a peach, skin and all. It's a little fuzzy, but it works wonders with that extra fiber and it doesn't make you like run to the bathroom, but it works itself out and will help the general constipation thing. So, again, having all of these things in your possession a week in advance, 1 week early, I think is a really good move. This last section has to do with stuff. There's a bunch of stuff that you're going to want and need, and you'll want it in your house several days before so that you're not ordering in the middle of discomfort and then have to wait 2 or 3 days for it to come. So, all the links for these things will be available to you below. The first one is super necessary, and it is bras, post surgical front closure bras. I've done a deep dive on this already, and you can see that down below. There are a few that I recommend. This one I'm going to show you is my favorite, and I wear it still all the time. It's the most comfortable one, though there's other great options, of course, but you'll need that um, in your home. You don't want to be shopping online when you're all fuzzy headed. So that's great to have. And I would say getting multiple sizes because you don't know what's going to be comfortable. And then you can do returns, of course. The next thing is having a button down short sleeve shirt to wear to and from the surgery and to wear for quite a while. You can't wrestle with a t-shirt post breast surgery. I really like this one on Amazon. I found it really comfortable and I like it, so I'll still wear it in my future. The third thing is a seatbelt pillow. So it attaches to your seatbelt. I showed you earlier. This is really helpful. It's you can shove a regular couch pillow in there, but this one stays in place. And I still have it in my car and I'm kind of attached to it. So that's a great thing to have. The next thing is having like a snuggie tank top that would go underneath your bras that provides an extra layer of cushion between your incisions and the bra band. This was something I found very helpful and I wish I knew about it and I had it in my hands beforehand. You can't really wear these until the drains are off. If you need drains, that's usually a reduction thing. But once I figured out about the tank tops, and I'm actually got one on right now, yay, it's just mind-blowingly helpful to have. Another item that's great is these cotton pads that you can cut into squares. And then that goes right on the nip for like just again, nipples are super sensitive after, and another layer of comfort between your skin and the bra. So I really like these, found them very affordable on Amazon. Also, another great thing to have is a pillow that has sort of um, a concave part of it, a head scoop, if you will. Here's a picture. And here's why. You cannot sleep on your belly, of course, and you can't sleep on your side for a while, especially after reduction. Uh, and so I was grateful to have a pillow like this because my head would just flop all around in a standard pillow and you have to be on your back. It's a challenge to sleep on your back if you're a side sleeper. That was me. Not that fun, but I really liked that at least my head felt secure and I could relax in it a little easier. So I like this pillow. Also, this last part of stuff has to do with those of you who will need drains. So, reduction patients almost always need drains, and others might need drains as well. Why? Because with a reduction surgery, you're going to have underneath the side boob or pit tit, you will have liposuction and there will be drains that are dealing with the extra fluid that will come out of there. So, two items that I found very helpful. One is a band, almost like a belt, that goes around your torso underneath the bra line with little holders for the drains. So they're not kind of flopping around. It's nice to keep them secure. That item, very helpful. And then the last item, also for a drains patient, is for the shower. So when you're able to take a shower, which is usually about day 2, uh, you need to have some apparatus that's going to kind of hold the drain. So again, they're not banging around. This one goes around your neck. The drains go in little mesh pockets. And that was very helpful, again, to have something to contain them, control them. That's the end of my video of part 1 of preparedness. And I'm going to post a part 2 pretty soon. Thank you so much and have a great day and God bless you. Bye.